For those of you who don't know or have never heard this before, my first degree was in chemistry. Really, I have my first degree in industrial chemistry. I have not really practiced chemistry since then, but I retained some things. And so I remember this particular concept called the reaction half-life of a chemical element, T half, I think. So the reaction half-life of an element is the time within which it takes a particular element to get to half of its original value. So if, for example, the value of an element was maybe 12, the time it takes for that element to reduce to half of that original number, that's what's called the half-life. It has many implications in what an element can react with and how long it takes. So when you are reacting that element with another one, you have to consider that for it to reach its optimum value, the element it is reacting with must be under the half-life of the original element. I don't intend to confuse you, but ideas do have a half-life. Instructions do have a half-life, a time within which, if that idea is not acted upon, the value, that's this reactive value, which is its ability to move you who has the idea, reduces by half. So the first time an idea hits you, the first time you see the possibilities or you hear a thing, there's always a jolt, right? There's a readiness with which you want to work. You are excited, you are pumped. Every time you do not do anything about that new instruction, that new way you see something, that idea, the ability for it to react with you, the ability for it to pump you, push you to do something meaningful with it, the ability reduces. It reduces quite fast. And so you must be careful to, take these ideas, to put them into a structure, into some action points that helps you to do something about that, about the idea, to do something about the instruction as soon as you hear it. Every time wasted reduces the ability for you to do something with it. And so sometimes we procrastinate by trying to say, oh, we want to think about it, we want to ask people about it. In fact, that reduces it very fast. But the time you are taking to go about doing that, if you can do one thing, if you can just start one thing. So one of the things I do is that I know I am unable to change my entire life just because I had an idea. So I take a little part of it and I start doing it. Sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes something else comes my way. I see somebody else carrying it out, or I hear something entirely new and it reactivates, like it gives it a new life. So that can happen. But every time you don't do something and you hear something new and you don't do something about it, another thing that can happen is that you develop a resistance. Things hardly move you. You will hear some new things and you're like, okay, we've had that before. Okay, we've tried that before. And then it becomes difficult for you to actually launch or do anything. But one of the ways to keep yourself ever new is to keep trying. When you hear a new method, try it. When you receive a new insight, do something about it to show that this is new information that you have ingested. It will help to make you a productive person. It will advance you. You would have ended up doing so many things, trying out so many new things, that one of them or many of them will be a success. And even if there are not many new things, it might be many new ways to try out the same thing that you were doing. And so it's key that as you hear things, you read things, you listen to people, you make time to say, what new thing did I, and what can I implement? Otherwise, the half-life of that information is going to deteriorate. It's not going to do anything. And what is worse is that it's going to turn you into the kind of person that does nothing with new information. Yeah, that's it for today.